Okay, so today we're going to be talking about a pretty interesting topic that a subscriber has asked me, and it's been after a few subscribers have asked me this question in the past. It's going to be talking about the computers, the setups, the devices, and everything that I make use of that helps me in creating a successful trading day every single day, whether I'm at home, in the office, or I'm traveling. Stay tuned if you want to find out more about this. Okay, so like I said, this is going to be a video talking about trading setups, specifically talking about what I use as a computer, laptops, computer screens, devices, mobile phones, and everything else that I make use of. This is actually going to be a two-part video specifically because of the question I was asked. So just to introduce myself to you, the reason why I run this YouTube channel and why I'm able to give advice on these kinds of things to do with trading and investing. My name is Morgan and I'm a professional trader. I manage capital on behalf of clients based all over the world, and on top of that, I run a training academy where I train students in over 28 countries around the world. We focus on teaching people about how to trade and invest in the financial markets. Specifically, the reason why I like to run this channel is because I am a professional trader, but it is a very lonely road. I spend my day managing capital by myself and with my team. My YouTube channel allows me to work with my community, be able to give back and help people with questions that they have and help them learn more and help them succeed. It's just what I enjoy doing. So for this video, we are going to be talking about a question that a subscriber sent to me over Instagram. Here's actually a subscriber to this channel. So just to start out with the question, I'm just going to read it out plain simple English for you. So he says to me, "Hi Morgan, I've followed your YouTube channel for a few months, love the videos. They're helping me a huge amount with my trading and investing. Right now, I am traveling a huge amount, and I know that you do as well. I want to know what you would advise," he's probably saying what I would recommend, "for a trading setup when I'm at home and on travels. That would help a lot." Okay, so Jeremy, I suppose that you're from overseas or something. I can see that there's a few breaks in your sentences, which is fine, but I can definitely work out your question. What I've been able to deduce here is that you've probably been trading, you're probably trading your own money, or maybe you're trading still on a demo account, but you've got quite a bit of experience, and that you want two of these questions answered. Firstly, talking about at home, what you should be using trading there, and then on your travels. Now, funny enough, this is a question that I've been asked quite often. The issue is that when it comes to trading and investing, I think when it comes to anything new that someone gets into, they're not really sure about the equipment that they should be using. It's kind of like if someone gets into mountain biking, they walk straight into a biking shop and say, "What do I need?" And if they land up with the wrong person, they're going to get sold a ton of really expensive stuff that they probably don't need. They're going to be sold the most expensive helmet, most expensive bike, etc. You get my point. When it comes to trading and investing in the markets, you kind of have to value how much you are spending on your platforms and on your equipment based on how good you are and how much you're making. If you're trading on a demo account and you're not trading any live money, then you should try and focus on spending as little money as possible or not spending too much money on whatever you need next. Now, as you become more advanced, as you start making a bit of money, a nice thing to try and do is only spend the money that you make in your profits on your trading setup. And what this will do is this will not only mean that you're not spending money out of your own pocket, it also means that you'll be a lot more conservative, because when people spend their profits, they realize that they've worked really hard for it. Now, when it comes down to this question, you're going to realize that I'm very efficient in what I advise people when it comes to actually spending money, because at the end of the day, I am someone who has focused on teaching people a lot about wealth management, teaching people about how to conserve their money. So in this video, I'm going to do the two parts of the setup. It's going to be the exact same video. I'm just going to split it into two, so it's not like a 30-minute long video. But I want to start off with talking about something like a home setup. Now, most importantly, what I'm going to be doing is just popping up a few pictures of things I'm talking about, products, and I'm going to be recommending some of the things down below that I make use of. So these are actually things that I've used for the last couple of years, and I can't really recommend anything directly, or I'm not going to be actually being paid money to recommend any of these products. These are just products that I've been able to use. So in terms of when it comes down to a trading setup, now I think for if you're at home and if you're focusing on sitting in your own office at your own desk, a great thing to make use of is a desktop computer. Now, what a lot of people will probably not know, or some people might know, is that a desktop PC is usually slightly cheaper than a laptop, depending on its processing power. Now, when it comes to trading, there's not a huge amount of processing power that you actually need. Trading setups like MetaTrader 4 or MetaTrader 5 don't use a huge amount of processing power. So even something as simple as this cloud book right over here, which I make use of, that is a very, very low power processing notebook that I can make use of, and it runs MetaTrader perfectly. When it comes to the trading computer, it's slightly different. For some people, they might want to have 2 computer screens, 3 computer screens, or even more. Now, when I say to people, as a beginner, you really don't need more than 2 computer screens. 2 computer screens do help, yes, definitely, but anything more than that, you don't really need. I've gone up to as much as I think 7 computer screens. I think I've got a picture here of me in a previous trading office. Those were quite a few computer screens, and then I had 1 or 2 other times where I went up to 8 computer screens when I was using a trading setup that was given to me. I got a lot of value from it, but at the end of the day, I soon got to a point where I was only focusing on the trading screens in front of me, you know, the 2 or 3 in front. So right now, I only make use of 2 trading computer screens. The reason why I say this is if you're building a desktop PC, you will need a graphics card that can run at least 2 computer screens. So whatever you might be building, even if it's a cheap computer, please make sure to recommend that you speak to whoever might be building it for you, or if you're building it for yourself, focus on finding a graphics card that can run at least 2 computer screens, and hopefully on HDMI, because any of the older DVI or VGA cards are not really as high quality. So I'd probably recommend you try and focus on finding something with a good graphics card. Now, when it comes to RAM, you can go for anything of 4 gigabytes of RAM to 8 gigabytes of RAM. You don't really need too much. When it comes to the processor, you can go for anything from a 3 gigahertz processor and up. You don't really need anything crazy. You don't need to overclock your computer. The trading setup is absolutely simple. 1 or 2 really important things that I'd recommend is to focus on finding a keyboard and mouse that you really enjoy using. And most importantly with the mouse is finding a mouse pad, because most importantly, if you're sitting at home when it comes to trading, you are going to be spending a huge amount of time on the trading platforms. Now, when it comes to myself, I have kind of grown out of that, but when I started out, I got myself a really nice gaming mouse, a really nice mechanical keyboard, and that at least assisted me. Now, to some people who might know what a mechanical keyboard is, there's things called macro keys. Now, if you become really good at using the sort of tips and tricky parts of MetaTrader, you can actually build in macro keys. If you don't understand this, don't worry. That's kind of a bit of a geeky thing that comes from my gaming background. Another one that I'd have to recommend is your seat. You have to invest as much as you can into finding yourself a really nice office chair. For myself, I've got a really nice executive office chair. I make sure for myself that at least it takes my weight, because I weigh around about 100 kilograms. I'm a very big person, and I need to make sure that my seat is not going to break, of which I've broken quite a few office seats in the past. So obviously, if you're above 100 kilograms, 110, buy yourself an office seat that takes your weight, that is actually a proper executive office seat. Then in terms of that, also make sure that it's at least ergonomic. And most importantly, wherever your table is and wherever you might be sitting, it's a nice space. It's obviously a safe space. And also a big step is that the place is quiet and secure. So it's not like in the middle of a walkway where there's lots of people walking past you all the time. That can be incredibly distracting. Now, what you're going to realize is that I haven't really spoken a huge amount about the actual trading setup itself. So I'm sure some people have probably watched trading setup videos in the past and gone, watch these beautiful cinematics of people walking through these amazing offices, and there's the most expensive setup, and there's this and that, the next thing. For myself, I'm really trying to explain to you why certain aspects of the setup is so important. Now, if your seat is not comfortable, you're not going to be in a good operating mindset. If you don't have a keyboard and a mouse that works properly or works perfectly smoothly, you are going to land up getting annoyed by it. It's a simple aspect, and these are things that I've realized from years of trading. If you have computer screens that don't display the charts very clearly, you're also going to run into a problem. And this is another big step, is talking about the computer screens. Now, out there in the market today, there are tons of different computer screens that you can make use of. In the back here, we've got an LED IPS monitor, a very nice 25-inch widescreen monitor that I'm going to be talking about when it comes to your travels and stuff as well. But that is also something that I put on my trading setup as well. I just moved it to have it in the background here. That is a very nice widescreen monitor that you can put multiple charts up, split into 2 or 3 charts on one side, and they display the charts absolutely beautifully. A big benefit of that screen is it really isn't that expensive. On top of that, I have a 27-inch Samsung IPS monitor. That is a beautiful monitor to make use of. That is a much more expensive monitor, over double the price of the LG IPS monitor, but that monitor specifically is able to actually provide me with a very high clarity display that I'm able to watch the charts incredibly closely. When I want to analyze very closely, I can do that. And then to the left of that, I've got an LG 24-inch IPS monitor that I also make use of. Now, my computer screens are all different sizes and they are used for different purposes. Now, the reason why is because I don't stretch my charts across multiple screens. I don't find it's necessary anymore. Way back when in the past, I did that, but right now I don't really need it. If I was going to upgrade this computer setup, which I'm probably going to be doing in 2019, I will make sure to get brand new computer screens that are all the same size. But for myself right now, I really purchased a lot of these monitors on specials. Now that is probably the last point that I can come to, is for myself, I make quite a serious amount of money trading, but still at the end of the day, I'm shopping around for specials. I'm making sure I don't spend too much money on my setups, but I always make sure I'm buying quality and that the product works exactly how I need it to work. That is a very important step. So I never slack on buying anything cheap. I never slack on buying anything that doesn't work properly for me and is not functional. Now, another aspect that I probably recommend is if you need to obviously have communications with anyone else. Let's say, for example, you have a mentor, you have friends that you trade with, probably getting a good headset would also work, because if you are talking with other people over the internet and you can't hear them very well, you're going to run into problems. Now, for myself, I make use of a really nice gaming headset, which is also a 7-in-1 gaming headset. It's got a really beautiful setup, complete over ear. These are incredibly expensive. This is at the top range of the sort of gaming headsets that you can buy. It's actually an older version, but you know, I think around about a year and a half ago, they were the most expensive you can get. Now, those work incredibly well. Another headset that you can make use of, which is what my actual travel headset, is just a JBL headset that's also Bluetooth enabled, or you can just get something that's a slightly cheaper headset. But I definitely recommend you get something that at least drowns out the outside noise. If you're in a slightly louder area, those things work beautifully if you have to speak to someone. With these, I can go and sit in the restaurant, I can have them on and listen to anything and anyone without any distractions. If I'm using earphones, doesn't work. Sometimes they fall out, sometimes I can hear background noise and it annoys me a lot. I get distracted really easily. But that is a simple breakdown of what my trading setup is. Now, I know I've listed up a few images and a few pictures. Down below, I'm going to be listing up some recommendations of obviously the graphics card as an example that I would recommend, a simple example of a computer setup that you can have a look at, as well as computer screens, keyboards, mice, gaming headset that you can make use of that would help you in your trading setup. Now, in terms of all of that, that's just going to be the simple breakdown. It's not going to be anything too expensive. Once again, I have to reiterate, don't go overboard, don't go too crazy. Keep it simple, keep it efficient, but make sure that what you have works for you. And don't forget, the office chair is also really important. You don't want to be sitting in a simple plastic chair trying to trade your money. You want to be sitting in something big and comfortable for you. Once again, everyone, thank you so much for tuning into this video. It's been an absolute pleasure answering your questions. To anyone else who has questions that they want answered to do with trading, investing, or managing their wealth, ask the questions down below. You know where to go in the comment section, and I will make sure to get back to you. And if the question is cool enough, we'll do a video on it. Also, to anyone who wants to find out a little bit more about what we do in the educational market, like I said, we train students in 28 countries around the world. We run an online training academy that I specially built that allows us to teach students over a 12-month program that allows us to give them online access to our specialized online training platform. There's mobile app access, so they can access via their mobile or tablet. On top of that, there's extensive coaching programs, and most importantly, there is a really, really incredible support system that we've been able to build as well. That entire program is for only $475. It's an incredible value for money. It works out at much less than $50 per month, which is really, really cheap. So to anyone who wants to actually apply to that program, all you have to do is email your request to speak with us to study@msequitiestrading.com, or you can visit our website, www.msequitiestrading.com, and you can find out a bit more about what we do. All of the links are down below in the description. Make sure to get started if any of you need those, and also give this video a like if you thought it helped you out. And Jeremy, let us know if this helped you out with your trading setup. Once again, everyone, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Cheers for now.